Basically, there are two approaches to playing the bass drum: heel up and heel down. So with heel down, your heel is actually going to be touching the base of the foot pedal, and you're just going to gently play the bass drum and get out of the head. So this is going to give you a nice resonant sound, and it looks something like this. The pros of the heel down approach are that you can play softly in a controlled manner. You also get a nice open resonant tone because the beater is coming out of the head. You can also get nice control over your dynamics, so you can play very soft and a little bit louder without having to exert yourself too much. So I'm just going to play a little bit and show you some of what's possible with this heel down approach. Another common approach is the heel up approach, and your heel will actually be up off of the bass drum pedal, and your toe will be on the top of the bass drum pedal. So the pros with this are that you can get a lot of power, you can get a lot of volume, but one of the things is that the natural tendency is to let the bass drum beater lay into the head. That's going to give you a little bit more impact, but it's also going to give you a deader sound. One of the things you want to look out for when using this approach is that it can be easy to get off balance if your heel is always up in the air. So you may want to experiment with putting your heel down a little bit when you're not playing as well. With the heel up approach, you can get a little bit more power and volume because you are using your whole leg and you can lean into it that way. So you have the weight of that behind what you're doing. Personally, I use both approaches for different things. Heel down is great when you're trying to play softer or in a jazz context. The heel up is great if you're playing in a louder rock or funk type of context. I tend to use kind of a hybrid of both of these sometimes, where I'm actually lifting my knee up, and then I come down on the bass drum pedal, and then when I come at rest, I let the bass drum beater come out of the head, so that I'm getting a nice resonant open tone, but I'm also getting the power of the heel up approach. The benefits of this are that you get the open tone that you would get with a heel down approach, but you also get the power of the heel up approach. And also when you're not playing, your leg is at rest and your heel is on the floor, so you have a nice balance happening. So you don't get off balance by playing entirely heel up. You want to pay a little bit of attention to the different open and muted tones that you can get. You can get a nice open tone by letting the beater come out of the head. You can also get a nice muted tone by letting the beater be buried in the head. It's important to note as well that you can play dynamically on the bass drum. I play lots of different accents and different dynamic levels in what I'm doing. You don't always have to have the bass drum be just one consistent level. You can get experimental with the dynamics on that as well. Once you experiment with playing the bass drum and getting a nice sound, you can start applying some of the stickings on top of this as well. So you can play the bass drum on every stroke of a particular sticking, or you can play every other stroke as well. You can play the bass drum on the downbeat of every fourth stroke as well, especially when you get into the upper tempos. This is just a simple way to start introducing the bass drum to some of these ideas. You want to get in the habit of tapping your foot, and you're going to have to actually develop some of the muscles in your leg to play the bass drum, but that'll come from time, and just start integrating it as much as you can.